Einstein once said that creative flow was intelligence having fun. I have felt small doses of creative flow all throughout my life. I have been a very creative person by nature. But lately, I have felt a creative flow like nothing I've ever felt my whole life. The first time it happened, it felt like an electrical current coursing through my veins. I felt completely energized and completely focused on the project that I was working on. For me, it was a writing project. For some people, it could be music or art or writing. For me, it was writing. My whole body felt charged and alive, more alive than normal. It was not a normal, excited or vibrant kind of feeling. And it's not the same as inspiration. Inspiration can be quiet and fun, but the creative flow, it feels like there's a rush and there's an excitement to it, and it feels like everything is possible and good. It's very similar to that rush you get when you first fall in love. When you fall in love with somebody for the first time, the trees are greener and the grass is brighter and flowers are prettier and just everything feels good. But you've also got this energy and you don't want to go to sleep. You just want to stay up. You just want to be in that project or whatever it is. That's what creative flow feels like. And it's not my imagination that creative flow feels like that. They've actually done studies, and the hormones that are released are very similar to the ones when you first fall in love. And there's a lot of dopamine and serotonin, and there's a lot of hormones that get released in your body. When you're in a creative flow state, your body's chemistry is different than normal. You might be wondering, well, how do you get in a creative flow state? And that's going to be different for everybody. And I think that that's kind of the magic of it, is for some people, they have to be miserable. For some people, they have to be really happy. For me, my creative flow state won't work if I'm stressed out. If I'm stressed out over money, or really if anything is overwhelmingly stressing me out, it shuts my creative flow right down. But when I can set stress aside and I can just focus on the task, when I'm open to it, it tends to be something that happens more often. And that's the cool thing about creative flow. When you're open to creative flow and you allow it to happen and you don't fight it and you go with it, it becomes easier for you to get into that state again and to go with it again. And the reason for that is neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is a big fancy word that basically says your brain does better every time it does something. So whatever you're thinking or doing, you naturally get better at it, and your brain wants to go on automatic pilot. It wants to be able to do your normal everyday things without thinking about it, without conscious thought. It wants to get into that state easily. So if you're open to a flow state and you allow your body to go into that, and you don't fight it, and you encourage it and you nurture it, then it becomes easier. And that's just the neuroplasticity, the science behind it. It's also a lot of fun. When I'm in a flow state, I've been in a flow state, a really big one, I'm almost 2 months solid. And I have written 2 books. I've got 2 more in the works. I didn't intend to work on 4 books at one time. I just wanted to write one. But when I started writing one, it gave me an idea for the other. And the idea was so strong that I didn't want to lose it. So I started just putting down the ideas. I didn't really want to structure it or do anything. But the ideas kept coming. And the ideas at first felt like I was in the middle of a swirling tornado. And within this tornado that was swirling all around me, I felt like there were pages. And I felt like I'm just trying to grab the pages out of the tornado. And as I'm grabbing them, they're falling into different categories. And so these different categories are the different books that I'm working on. And just by doing that, when I wake up and I've got ideas swirling around, I pull out my phone and I open the notes section and I capture them. I just speak them, voice to text, and say what's in my mind. And then I'd go on my dog walks and I would get more of that swirling feeling. And the ideas that were floating around me, I would go ahead and do the same thing. I'd pull out my phone again and I would speak what I was thinking into the notes section. And the funny thing was, I did that every day for a few weeks. And after a few weeks, there were definite, clear categories that these ideas were going to fall into, and they were different books. And so that's how I started writing 4 books at one time. I've just been in this major flow state. And I think for me, the perfect storm that allowed that to happen was my body is healing and I feel really good. I'm in a really healthy physical body place. Mentally, I've done the work. I'm in a good place mentally. And then the final thing is I've lived enough life to have all these stories swirl around me. I'm writing about my own experiences. And so I've got real life stories to share. And I think I needed to live long enough to have the stories, to have something to write about. Once I started capturing these ideas and writing them down, more and more came. And I didn't want to stop it. It felt too good to let them out and to put them on paper. So I didn't want to ignore it or disregard it. I just kind of went with it. That's what flow state has felt like for me. I don't think it's the same for everybody, but I've been reading up on it, and there are a lot of things that people share when they go into this flow state. And there is some science to it, so it makes sense that we would feel similar. The hormones that are released are pretty much the same for everybody that gets into a deep flow state. The more often you give into it and you allow it to happen, the easier it happens for you. I think of major artists who've had huge bodies of work, and I think it's because they just allow themselves to be in that state and they don't fight it. You know, I think of somebody like Taylor Swift, who does one album after another, or Barbara Cartwright, who wrote hundreds of books. And I think that if you allow yourself to be in that state, you're allowing yourself to be more of who you are. And so it feels really good to do it. I'd heard people talk about it my whole life, artists, musicians, writers, describing it like a current you step into if the stars align. For years I nodded along pretending I understood, but I didn't. You can't until you feel it. I'd have creative bursts before, times when ideas came easily, but those were about effort and focus. This is different. What's happening now feels alive, like something turned on inside me I didn't know was there. It has its own rhythm, its own pulse, and it doesn't ask for permission. And even now, I've completely finished one of the books, but there's something in me that tells me I'm not done. And so I'm letting it settle while I work on another one, finishing that one up, because I feel like the first book that I was working on is still whispering to me. And I feel like it's almost like it's got its own essence. And until it stops whispering to me, I don't want to close my laptop on that project because I feel like it's not quite done. I don't know what's missing, and I don't know what it has left to tell me about that book, but I feel like there's something, and it's just waiting for me to be open to it, to be able to understand what I have yet to put into that book. I'm 61 years old, and this is the first time I've been in a major flow state, and I really like it. I hope that it isn't the last. There is a psychological name for it. They call it autotelic flow. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm more of a reader, and I haven't really heard about it, but when I did my research, that's what they were calling it. The autotelic flow is the kind that sustains itself. Every time you return to that current, your brain lays new tracks, focus, imagination, emotion, reward, firing together until the route is clear. That's neuroplasticity. Neurons that fire together wire together. We've all heard that. At first, catching the wave takes effort, but with repetition, the brain smooths the path. Less friction, more flow. In deep flow, planning and self-editing quiet just enough for the creative center to lead. Dopamine heightens, pattern recognition, attention locks in. It's part mystical and part biology, proof that science and spirit can share the same rhythm. stay in it long enough, and you stop being someone who gets into flow. You become someone who is flow. What once felt like a high starts to feel like home. Falling in love and falling into flow share the same chemical storm. Dopamine for drive, norepinephrine for focus, endorphins for endurance, anandamide for lateral thinking, serotonin for the afterglow. Your sense of self softens. Time distorts. Hunger disappears. You merge with what you love, a person or a piece of art. Both feel holy. Both say yes to aliveness.